What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Dark Avenger comic book review. This is episode 421, being recorded literally 24 hours after episode 420. That's right, guys, I made a mistake, and I thought that this Wednesday's books was our smaller pile, when in reality, the books from this week, which the books in this review were released on
November 29, 2017, the last week of November.
That's right. The last week of November was our light pile week.
Yeah.
So we actually got through all of our books within the past 24-ish hours.
Yeah.
And so here we are once again, finally caught up. We're doing this review on Monday night going into Tuesday morning. You guys will be seeing this on Tuesday morning. We're ready.
All right.
Next week, this week when Wednesday hits, we'll be ready for our newer books.
All right, so let's
So
start.
I'm really happy. We're going to, since we are only 24 hours after last night's review, and seeing as we still went about 30 minutes, this episode we have 5 less books. We'll try our best, but we're going to try the same formula again for this review. Obviously, when we get towards the end of the review, we'll talk a little bit more in depth. No, I don't even think we have to worry about that this week. So let's go through the books. Now, this book I missed for episode 420. And by the way, Batman Creature of the Night actually did come out this Wednesday. So that book belonged on this review. But this book, Glitterbomb, The Fame Game, issue number 3, belonged on yesterday's review for episode 420. I just wanted to put that out there. I really am enjoying Glitterbomb Volume 2. Obviously, I forgot what the girl's name was, but the girl is being manipulated by the demon that was manipulating the woman from the first arc, or the first volume, and now it's trying to possess her, and it says that she's stronger. We're getting more about the detective being more than human. I'm really enjoying Glitterbomb a lot. I must have missed it somehow within the pile of other digital books, but I had to talk about it for this episode because I really do enjoy Glitterbomb. It's a fun series. It's a dark series. I would definitely recommend checking it out. And there's a lot of interesting stuff that's now happening to the main character of this volume, this poor girl. And I think a lot of people, especially if you read Volume 1 and you enjoyed it, you're going to love this volume.
All right. Atomic Robo, issue number 2, The Spectre of Tomorrow. So this book was a little bit of an okay-ish book. Like, I would say, like, it would be on the bottom pile based on all the other books I have. Not saying it's, like, my, worst book. Like, it was just, like, least interest because it was, like, a lot of dialogue. You know, there's this whole big construction site that's going on, and Atomic Robo is trying to fix up everything, and then things are getting a little bit of a haywire, but in the next issue we will find out if what happened at the construction site will be better or worse or something for that. But that's for that. Now, Dance of the Dead, issue number 2. This book was actually
Grim Fairy Tales, Dance of the Dead. By the way.
And it's actually been a long time since I read the last issue of Dance of the Dead. And I remember from the last issue, it was the main character, which I can't remember her name, and meets up with this other woman named Jasmine. And they're fighting off against these demonic creatures. And now what they want to do is that they meet up with this guy who could help them destroy this this woman that's made of like ice. And they think that fire could get her out. But it backlashed on Jasmine, so now it is up to the main character that goes up against her in the next issue. And that is to be continued. For that, it was really awesome. I don't want to give too much away because it was really a great book.
Is this the last issue?
No, the next issue will be last issue.
Oh, okay. So
Street Fighter vs. Darkstalkers, issue number 7. Lots of great and awesome stuff happened in this issue where the Street Fighter team are going up against Jeddah and all of the other Darkstalkers also. I really love the artwork in this book. The artwork is just really awesomely drawn. We have like lots of fight scenes and Jeddah who is trying to get rid of the whole universe and everything. But now it seems that there's an even bigger problem because Lord Gill is taking over this whole thing with the power that's being used by someone else. that can make him a lot stronger and everything.
So the next issue is the last one.
Yes, the next issue will be to be concluded. But however, there is
yes, I
a
actually
new...
did. I did our order. Yeah, it's a 99-cent series for, I forget how many issues. I think it's only about 4 or 5 issues, maybe 6.
But there is a new Street Fighter that came out, Street Fighter Reloaded, issue number 1, and this celebrates.
I like the back cover too. See, what I love about Street Fighter comics, you can pick which side of the cover.
And it's celebrating their 30 years, so you know. So anyway, you have Ryu who's going to Ken about meeting up with him, but then they have problems of their own that their master.
It's not a reprint of a story. I thought these were reprinted stories.
Well, this is where Master Goken died, or like he got murdered or something. I don't know. It kind of does look familiar. When I reread this, I'm not sure, but we have I almost said Lord Guild, Guile, who is looking into the whole murder scene and everything, and here's that, and he says that he knows Ryu, and he wants to do some investigations for that. But man, this book was really amazing. You have Chung Li in the end, who knows somebody who works for Shadowlo. And that's what it's. And then you get the second story where it's.
It shows you how Sagat got his.
Yeah. And with the whole thing, Bison saying we will meet again. Yeah, when he turns him into Dark Ryu, that's when they meet again. Just saying, FYI, because I know Street Fighter. All right, now you want to do this one?
No, I think we both can. I really love this issue. This issue is definitely probably going to be in my top 5. I'm sure as well as yours.
Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ghostbusters 2. Issue number 5 is the grand finale of the epic crossover. And I was wrong. The mother was actually real. I thought it was going to be an entity.
That's what honestly made this issue for me.
Look at this. This emotional scene right here where the mother's talking about her sons and everything, and
how proud she is of them, and
that really was just so emotional. But
it was a very emotional first half, and it was the beginning of the book too. Mind you, we're talking about just the beginning of the book. Then the Turtles find their way back to the Ghostbusters world, and then the Ghostbusters and the Turtles with the weapons that Donatello created fight the Collectors and end the Collectors once and for all, which I love. And then that's it. They celebrate, and then the Turtles come home.
And yeah, but it just says the end for now anyway. So do I hear a volume 3 maybe?
Well, there's more than a definite possibility. I mean, think about it. Batman TMNT has 2 volumes going on its 3rd, but it's its 2nd as far as the Batman Turtles comic book crossover. This is the 2nd for Ghostbusters and Turtles. I'm positive. Ever since, what was it called? It's up there. Infestation. Where they had that first big cross, not with the Turtles and Ghostbusters, but where they had
with the
all of
X-Files
those
and stuff, Transformers,
where they had them all together.
I remember.
From that moment, I knew that Turtles and Ghostbusters were just going to be that way. The next 2 books are from Marvel for me, and they're on my lower pile this week. We're going to start with Venom issue number
158.
158. I don't know why, but I guess I didn't pick up a physical copy, or it's delayed a week. One or the other. I didn't want to wait. I read it digitally instead. Kraven versus Venom. We all knew Venom was going to be saved. He was saved by one of the dinosaur people who actually also found his medicine. He ended up fighting Shriek, which apparently now Venom is not as hurt by sonic sounds as he was before. How that's happened, I don't know. Maybe it's part of the medicine that he's gotten. I don't know. But he ends up defeating Shriek and Kraven. They end up getting arrested and taken away. The other guy that was in control of Venom before Eddie got it back is now being freed from jail to get Venom back and bring him back to the government. And in exchange, he gets his freedom. And Eddie Brock also, goes to jail because he's a wanted man as well. I didn't really care for this story arc with Kraven. I really didn't. I feel like it's more of a segue now. This is what I don't like about Venom for the next 2 story arcs. Next up is Venom Inc. And that crosses over with Amazing Spider-Man, which unfortunately forced me to pick up Amazing Spider-Man's 2nd story arc right after I dropped Amazing Spider-Man. And then, immediately as it concludes, literally the month the Omega issue comes out for Venom Inc., the annual for X-Men Blue comes out, and that's where Poison X starts. So once again, Venom is going from crossing over with Amazing Spider-Man directly to crossing over with X-Men Blue. That is a terrible thing to do with a comic, to have it cross over with one book and then immediately right after that cross over with another book. Now, I read X-Men, so for me, it's not really a big deal. But for me to have to pick up Amazing Spider-Man again for Venom Inc. and then X-Men Blue, I think that once X-Men Blue Poison X is done, I think I'm going to be done picking Venom up physically. Because if it's just going to keep crossing over with other books, or even the fact that it's doing 2 crossovers in a row, and the book hasn't truly been as strong as I want it to be, I don't want to see the Poisons again, and now I'm kind of forced to in a way. Not looking good for Venom. Next, Man Logan. This is the only lenticular cover. This is the last lenticular cover, so everybody get ready for a comic Frontline final, second to last lenticular cover, show off, or what did I call those? Showcase. We're going to do the November showcase, then we're going to do the December showcase, and then January on, Marvel can forget it. I ain't picking up any more of these horrible lenticular covers. It's issue number 31. For those of you that couldn't tell because of the way the lenticular cover is. And apparently Logan is in Japan, and it involves Silver Samurai, and he's creating this medicine, or this drug that gives people healing factors. Not just healing factors, but regeneration factors. And we get introduced to the Crimson Samurai, who's working for the Hand. And this is just, I don't know how I'm feeling about this story arc at all. I don't know how I'm feeling about this story arc. It feels like it's going back to a weaker feel. And if that's the case, I was looking in the previews to see where this is going and how long it's going. Previews is saying it's going at least for the next 3 months. And I believe Old Man Logan only comes out once a month anyway. So we're going to be seeing this for a while. And I don't know. We'll have to see. And then we get an Andrea Sorrentino. Of course, we get the 3 pages of the, sum up of Old Man Logan, which we've been getting with all the Marvel Legacy books. Like Venom, I don't know about Old Man Logan. I wanted to believe that this was going to be a really great series. I wanted to believe that maybe, we didn't have Wolverine, and, right after we got Secret Empire, Wolverine's back. So I don't know how things are going to go with me and Old Man Logan very soon. I'm going to stay positive, as they say, and hope for the best. And if it works out all right, I'll be keeping Old Man Logan. But if this story arc starts to linger and lag, I don't know. I did like the Maestro story arc. Mm-hmm. I did. The arc before it I liked. So, it was due up that there'd be one arc that it would be a little bit slower. So if that's what we have to go through and then we'll get something better, great. If we don't, chop block time. Because I'm reading way too many books, and I've noticed that over the past month, that I read way too many books, and that's why we were behind until this week where we had less books. So it's something that I have to consider in my mind.
Jean Grey, issue number 9. So in this issue, it's still about Jean Grey with Emma Frost, who is, they're always like competitious with each other, and all they want to do is just try to find out more stuff about the Phoenix itself. So we have Jean Grey in the present time, who is what happened? When she's talking with Emma Frost to try to see how they can get rid of it. Quentin Quire doesn't really help that much. Oh, I didn't show artwork. Where are my manners? Here's some artwork. And then all just at the end where the Phoenix is actually here. In the end.
And it only took 9 issues.
Yeah, 9 issues. Well, not the Phoenix bird, not Jean Grey Phoenix, the Phoenix bird. So we have seen the bird before.
X-Men Blue issue number 16. The X-Men have finally... They've been out of time for so long that finally the writers decide, hey, you know what? Cross-time caper time. So apparently, all this time the X-Men Blue team has been fine. As of right now, this very moment, as of this issue, apparently they're too much of a paradox and time is collapsing around them because they are out of time and time is finally catching up with that. And we're seeing X-Men, we're seeing Magneto disappear, Polaris disappear, Danger's disappearing. Apparently Xavier's been talking with Magneto's been talking to Xavier somehow, and it all goes back to where the first issue was, where he was creating that machine to send the X-Men Blue team back, and he gives Jean all the information that's in his mind. She takes them to the machine. They have to go back to their time. Apparently Beast is like, but we went back, we were already there. They think it's because Beast was using magic, and the magic was kind of not, it was some type of a bad magic. So they go time hopping for a bit, and then, as you guys have seen, I'm sure, from the advertisements, they end up in the year 2099.
Oh.
So the machine kind of makes a mistake, and instead of sending them back in time, it sends them forward into time. So now they're going to be
again
facing...
with the time
So,
travel?
but here's the thing. We know that they're going to end up back in the present again, and we're not going to have to worry. So this whole time paradox thing is temporary, and we got to find out why. Apparently, somebody who's an enemy of the X-Men Blue team knows this and is using it against them. So obviously, they're going to come back to the present somehow, stop that person, and be able to still exist in present-day Marvel instead of them creating the Ultimate Universe again, which would have been a better idea, Marvel. Just saying.
We're going to spread some holiday cheers with Green Arrow Annual issue number 1.
Oh,
which is all.
As we're in DC, I just want to point one thing out real quick. DC, this Marvel #1. I have Darkhawk one shot. It's my casual read. I'm not reviewing that book. I'm reading it slowly, really slowly, to the point where I literally didn't even really truly start it yet. I've skimmed it. With DC though, DC Showcase issue 2017 came out. So if you'd like to see some new talent that's coming to DC, check it out. Personally, for me, it's more of a sampler. This is what's coming in 2018. We reviewed it last year, and if you remember, we kind of just said it was more of like little short stories. So we don't have it to review this year. We have it. I've been reading it. I don't know if you've read it.
What?
The Showcase 2017.
I don't think
But it's not something that... It's something that if you'd like to see the new artwork, it's a $7, $7.99 book. That's up to you guys when you go into your comic shop. If you'd like to spend that money, get some really nice short stories, it's up to you.
All right. So
this is annual week because it's the 5th Wednesday of the month.
Yeah. So as we're going into the Green Arrow Annual, they just have stories where it talks about like all these different characters. You have Oliver Queen's story. You have Black Canary's backstory. You have Roy Harper's backstory, who was the Red Arrow, Roy Harper. Then you have... I didn't know that Amico Queen had some for Nightwing. I mean, that was just like really weird. But then the mother arrowed him, basically. But I love the artwork, though. Oh, the artwork just...
Is the Ninth Circle
really
still
awesome.
around?
This one's not about 9 circles at all. Well, Count Vertigo actually appears in this book. It's an annual, so it's all about Christmassy stuff, you know. That's what it really is. And then, you know... In each story, you know, they try to, end it off, which they do against Count Vertigo. And Count Vertigo is a known person if you've read Villains Month. And then, yeah. So it's really something that can bring the holiday cheers very early for that book.
And apparently Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps didn't get the memo, because I believe this is the only book that isn't an annual this week that we read from... Yeah, it is. From DC. So, new story arc begins, as you guys can see here. Twilight of the Guardians. Now, as you guys know, Sayed and Ganthet are the only 2 Guardians left that are working with the Green Lantern Corps. And we have the new girl, the little girl that got Tomar Ray's, or Tomar 2's ring. And now she's a new Green Lantern. The Guardians are enjoying it. We get a little flashback at the beginning of the book. And John's still kind of a little weary of the Guardians. We get some nice Kyle and Hal Jordan a moment here where Kyle's kind of having a problem letting go of the past with Saranic, and I like how when he brings up Carol that Hal Jordan kind of pushes him off also with it. But then Sayed and Ganthet get attacked by something. It's from the flashback. And the little girl goes back to John and warns them, and, you know, he calls out to Hal and Kyle for help. And we find out that, and this is for fans of Green Lantern for a while, if you've not been reading, you might know who they are. The Controllers are basically back. That's the whole thing. This was a setup issue for the return of the Controllers, or what's left of the Controllers, and they're looking to wreak their revenge on the Guardians, who are the reason why, you know, they were almost completely eliminated. I'm excited to see where this arc goes. Hal Jordan the Green Lantern Corps is my favorite Green Lantern book, and very soon the only physical Green Lantern book I'll be reviewing.
Justice League of America Annual, issue number 1. The whole story, I could just sum it up. It is Lobo and Black Canary that are going on to the to see like the worst person in the universe, and we all know how Lobo can be. And Black Canary learned a lot of new terms from Lobo, where they're just going off into the I can't remember where it was, but anyway, as they go there, they meet up with this person right here, both Lobo and Black Canary. And it's just all about revenge, really. That what he wanted against Lobo, and Black Canary does her thing with the sonic sounds to actually save them. But, fun fact, Lobo likes dolphins. Big fan of them, which I did not know about. And then, that's it. So it's funny
that annual is that way, because the next two I'm going to be reviewing are basically the same premise. You can really sum them up really quickly. Batman Annual number 2 is the relationship of Batman and Catwoman past to future. Now here's the thing, and I believe that I know it can't be a current DC tale kind of deal, because obviously this is pre-changes that's going to happen with Rebirth, possibly. But it shows Catwoman always breaking into Wayne Manor somehow. She ends up stealing the Batmobile. She ends up breaking into a safe. And all these times Bruce is trying to chase after her. He's like, I'm going to catch you, Cat. And she's like, no, you're not. So this is obviously she knew about Bruce Wayne being Batman all these years. Years later, the same thing, like I said, with the save happens. And then, Batman's finally like, why? Why are you doing this? And she's like, to make you stronger, to point out your weak points. And I love how Batman kind of chases Selina, and you see the beginning of their relationship here. And then we get a huge fast forward into the future, and this is obviously going to be after they get married and years later, because Helena actually does make an appearance in this book. And we find out that Bruce is dying from something. I don't want to spoil it. But we see Helena temporarily. We see the relationship from the very beginning to the very, very end. And there's some really great moments in here that are not really worth spoil. They're not spoilable. I just loved it because you see the development of Batman and Catwoman's relationship from basically almost day one all the way through till the end of the end of days, which is Batman's end, unfortunately. But again, I don't feel like this is a story this isn't based on the DC Universe current. I don't think so. Because to say, oh, Batman's going to die of this, obviously we know that's not going to happen because Batman Beyond.
Right.
So it's more of a mixture of Batman and Catwoman through the ages, but the ending might not be exactly the ending we get in the main DC Universe, because we never get an ending to the main DC Universe one. Super Sons, the cover says it all. Super Sons Annual number 1 is not about Super Sons. It's about the Super Pets. And the Super Pet Justice League. Which I want to find a picture of, which is... Detective Chimp makes a guest appearance also. But here we go. The Super Pets. Apparently something happened with Krypto and Streaky, and the Super Pets broke up. And Krypto wants, to find all these dogs that have gone missing. You get a little bit of Damian and John at the beginning stopping a burglary. And then you see, Krypto sees this advertisement that all these dogs are going missing. So he goes and gets Titus. He goes to Bat Cow. He tries to bring Streaky in, with Detective Chimp trying to bring the crew back together again to save the day. I love how Plastic Man has his own bird. It's Plastic Bird. No joke, it's Plastic Bird. So the crew gets together one more time to save the animals. There's really, it was a quick read because they don't use the animals don't use dialogue. There's just barking and roaring, and we find out an alien is trying to abduct all the dogs and cats to take them off of Earth and to save them because he believes that they're being imprisoned. Krypto and Titus save all the animals and bring them to to Wayne Manor, and now Damian enlists the help of John to actually, because this was John's next good deed. So now it's up to them to bring all of the pets back, and you get that little super pets fist bump between Crypto and Titus. I like that. I liked it a lot. So I love this story. It was fun. This was a fun read, and definitely one of my favorite books of the week. One of my favorite annuals. Not because it was a quick read by any means. It was just I really enjoyed the story between this and Batman. Those two are my top, I would say. I don't want to spoil for sure. I mean, it might be. They obviously will be part of a top 5 because I've only read like what 6, 7 books. But I really enjoyed this week's annuals. I will say that, and that might also be why I read through them so fast, because I was enjoying them so much that I didn't want to put the books down. But this is a great week, and we've officially caught up. We are at 25 minutes. We are just jinxed, man. But this is a great week in comics. Look forward to Frontline Live. You're watching this Tuesday morning, so you Frontline Live tonight. I don't know if Mike will be there, but I'll be there. The crew will be there, and we will be talking top 5 news and a whole bunch more. So go check out Comic Frontline. It'll be around 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And yeah. So as always, guys, now it's your turn. Let us know what you thought about the comics that came out this week. Likes, dislikes, agree, disagree, recommendations. We love hearing from you guys. Do you like this new format? Because honestly, I like the quicker format, but at the same time, some books need a little bit more discussing. So a mixture of all of the quick and the slow, depending on what book we're talking about, I believe makes this review a little bit better. A little bit quicker for sure. And other than these intros and outros, which I don't know if most of you guys skip, yeah, it makes the reviews a lot faster for me and a lot more enjoyable. So we'll see in the coming year.
We'll see.
So thank you guys so much for being here. Take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and we'll see you guys really soon in the next video.
Hey, everybody.